Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? I just want to show you this really quick. This is the X-Plane 11, and what I'm doing basically is I'm using my Oculus Rift, and there's the software called FlyInside, and with this software, you can go ahead and utilize X-Plane 11 flights and flight simulator. So if you have X-Plane 11 and a flight simulator from Microsoft, you can use this software called FlyInside, and really works well. It really gives you that um, virtual reality feeling, like you're inside. You can look out here. You can even open the window, look out this way, look behind you. Um, Another cool feature is you can use the not only are you moving your head at the same time moving around, but you can also use the touch controllers right here, and you can adjust your speed, how fast you want to go. You can adjust right here your altitude. You click your altitude right here. We're gonna go a little bit higher. So it's a pretty cool feature. Now, for those of you who do have Aerofly, Aerofly, uh, you don't need this software. You can use the Aerofly with this Steam VR. But I highly recommend you get X-Plane 11. X-Plane 11 is the best flight simulator. You can fly all over the planet. I mean, every part of the planet you can fly. You just have to download all these sceneries. You can go from Australia to New Zealand to Latin America, every single continent, every single sea, ocean. You can go to all over the planet. You can fly in throughout the entire planet, and I think that's what's so unique about X-Plane 11. Now, I would love to show you this in the full screen, but for some reason this software won't let me do it in full screen, so I have to show it to you this way. In terms of, yeah, you can touch all of these instruments if you want. The radio, you can look at the gyroscope, you can look at all of these things. Um, you can put down the gear, move it up. You can use the flaps. You can adjust your speed. So it's pretty cool. It really gives you that true feeling, VR feeling. The only reason I turned off the sound is because it's too loud in this cockpit. So this way you guys can hear me. But you can really like look around. You truly have that freedom. Like look behind you. You can look at the door in the cockpit, and the door in the cockpit, it's really detailed. It has all of these warnings and instruments and everything. It's really an immersive experience, especially since you have the touch controllers. With the touch controllers, you truly are immersed into this thing. Although I would say before you start this, you definitely need to. Now this mouse arrow, you can turn that off. You just have to go through settings. You go to the menu right here. You go to the settings. Then you go right here. And then you click 3D mouse disabled. And by the way, I'm running this at 3840 by 2374 and looks fantastic, man. You guys can't see it, but I can see it. It looks really good. You do have the ability to adjust the field of view if you want. How much of field of view do you want? Let's say I want to go to 115. Let's do, there you go, 115. And then you just go back into the simulator. There you go. Uh, what you see over there, that's another airplane over there, as you guys can see it. I'm gonna try to catch up to him. I'm gonna speed up a bit. That's another airplane over there. You do have traffic, you do have other airplanes, like you see the one over there. We're gonna catch up to him, but you get to see everything detailed really nicely, man. Like, hold on, let me go ahead and turn off this annoying thing, this mouse, 3D mouse. And then you can hide the mouse when not moved. Let's do that. Um, you do have different options on the you do have different options as far as the resolution. Let me show you what type of resolutions they are. You got 1920 by 1187. I think the ideal would be this one right here. 266.4 by 1586, but I like to keep it at 3840 2374 because I'm running a very beastly PC. You can turn off some of these optimizations, but I have a pretty high-end PC, so I don't have to. So let's go hit enter simulator. There we go. You see now the arrow, the mouse arrow, it's not there anymore. Now, is this better than the PlayStation VR? I mean, here's the thing, guys. PlayStation VR currently has some cool games, but at the moment, Oculus Rift has more choices. I mean, with Oculus Rift, I have 3 different types of flight simulators, commercial flight simulators that I can choose from, including the big daddy, which is the X-Plane 11. That's the greatest simulator ever created. Like I said, you can fly across the entire planet. Then you have internet racing, the iRacing. You can use that on Oculus Rift as well. Then you have that Apollo game. So there's a bunch of simulator games. In terms of racing, Assetto Corsa, iRacing, Project Cars, there's a truckload of, I mean, Dirt Rally. So between flight simulators and racing, there's plenty of those types of games on Oculus Rift, okay? Not to mention the DCS, the Digital Combat Simulator, they have that one as well that supports it. And the, of course, the famous one that's being used on the internet, it's, I forgot the name of it, but it's the one where you're like in the World War II. I forgot the name of the game. Anyway, what I'm trying to tell you guys is that there's plenty of flight simulators, plenty of racing simulators on PC with Oculus Rift to choose from. So there's more options. You do have a lot of options in when you choose when you go with the PC, obviously. But PlayStation VR has this good deal of games. Like I said, PlayStation VR has certain exclusive games that Oculus doesn't have, like for example, Resident Evil, and then you have what you call it, the other game, Farpoint. That's exclusive to. There's certain exclusive games that are exclusive to PlayStation VR. So, but in terms of like quality, obviously, look, I'm running this at a very high resolution. This is like a near 4K resolution. It's the dynamic scaled 4K resolution. So you are getting much better detail here. You know, when you're running this at the scaled dynamic 4K resolution, you're gonna have much better detail. Like I get to see everything clearly here, and you really feel like you're inside this plane, especially with these touch controllers. Let's turn around. Let me show you a little bit of the terrain. Obviously, X-Plane 11, you can run it in 4K. It does support HDR. It's something I will have to test as well. Also, keep in mind, I'm running a very beastly PC. I have a Red Beast by iBuyPower, so that all of that obviously it's comes into play. But what's so unique about PlayStation VR? Let's talk about what's so unique about PlayStation VR. What's so unique about PlayStation VR is the price. Okay, you're only paying $400 altogether. You're really paying. If you go with a slim version, you're paying just like 400 for headset, and then 300 for a console, so $600 right there just to experience VR. Or if you go with the Pro, you're paying $800 just to experience the whole thing. So there is that, you do have that. But however, there's some other things you're missing out. For example, see, this is what happens when you go really fast. The blood rushes into your brain, so we have to slow down the speed. Here, let me. You can kind of lean back if you want to. You can lean back. You kind of look around. You can look over here. You can look at the detail down at the. This does gets to feel a bit motion sick when you're flying around like this, and you really feel like you're in the plane. Remember, you watching this now on the screen, on the video, it doesn't do it justice. The only way to experience VR is to put the headset on. You really have to do that. There's no YouTube video that can convince you. It's just you'll have to put the headset on. And trust me when I tell you, it's Oculus Rift gives you a much better resolution than PlayStation VR. But in terms of like the movements and stuff, and it's pretty much the same thing. The only difference, it's more cleaner, it's more vivid. The graphics looks more detailed, so you are getting that benefit, on the Oculus Rift. But however, you have to reconsider. You're going to need a very beefy PC to achieve that. You're going to have to spend close to $2,000 just to achieve that experience. So the money wise, I would say PlayStation VR, it's more worth it. It's more convenient. But if you want to experience like the best of the best, then you got to go step up to this game. Quite honestly, the only reason I got this VR it's because of this game, the simulator, and the iRacing. Because I do use a lot of simulations, and I think VR, it's perfect. Oculus Rift is perfect for flight simulators and racing simulators. Honestly, they're nothing better than this. And as far as that monitor, I know some of you guys been asking me about that Samsung 4K monitor. I might possibly get it tomorrow, and do the whole thing on Friday, because today I'm kind of busy. I gotta work, but I'll definitely do that tomorrow or Friday and Saturday. I'll spend the entire day just showing you uh, Gears, Mass Effect, Battlefield 1, comparisons, shadow recording. There's going to be a truckload of stuff that I'm going to be doing, testing. I also am looking to get some speakers for my receiver. I'm probably going to go with the cheapest route for now. I'll get a couple of T50s from Polk. I know that those two those two speakers at the bottom, they're just reflectors, like subwoofer reflectors. They're not active speakers, even though it has 4 speakers, but you're only using 2. Those 2 at the bottom, they're just the reflectors. They're like reflecting subwoofers. They're not active speakers, but for the price, for $100, they're like, I think I can get it for 90. So for 180, for 190, I can get a pair of these, and I think it's not a bad deal. They're P50 Polk standing speakers, and for a small place that I'm in right now, I don't think I need anything bigger than that. Honestly, I mean, it will get the job done. Again, it's like I would like to give a shout out again to my friend Robert Collins, aka West Side Tech. He's from LA, South Central, and he's pretty cool, man. His father been installing the home theater, the amps, the VHS stereos. Yeah, his father helped him. His father was installing VHS stereo. Not many people even realized that back in the days, but that was a big thing, in early '80s, '70s, and him alone. has been doing installing home theaters, speakers, receivers, in-car speakers, everything. Robert's been doing this for 3 decades, like for 30 years, man. He's been doing this. He knows his stuff. He helped me as well uh, get the proper receiver. He gives me a good advice on what type of cables and how much I should spend on cables and how much I should spend on the speakers, what type of speakers will get the job done. So he really knows his stuff. So I definitely, you guys need to go to his channel, ask him any questions. He's gonna help you. He's gonna really give you the best advice on how to save money, how to get the proper system, so that way you don't go all out and buy all this unnecessary stuff that you don't need. Because you have to consider, guys, one thing. Remember, we are not professional, Skywalker, Lucas Ranch, or IMAX theater builders. Okay, what we are basically is small, complex apartments, small housings, where you don't really need all that 11 speakers. You don't need all that extra stuff. And sometimes for a small house, for a small place, 7.1, 7.2 speakers, it's more than enough. Trust me, it's more than enough. You're gonna definitely enjoy the sound that's gonna be coming out of those speakers, especially when you got a great THX receiver like Onkyo 757, TXNR 757. So definitely check him out. Check Westside Tech. He's pretty cool, man. He will help you. Ask him any questions. He will definitely help you, and he's gonna give you the best possible advice for you on how much to spend, on how much to get with a reasonable price. He knows his stuff. He's been up to date on everything, and he's definitely the best guy to go to ask for all this stuff. Another guy I want to give a shout out to, it's John Crow. John Crow, it's also another person that's been doing installment on home video, theater, calibrations. He knows his stuff as well, so definitely check out John Crow. Another great YouTube channel for these guys are professionals. All right, now these guys are professional. They're called Audioholics. Audioholics. I'm subscribed to them. They're in Florida, it's in the same state I am. I would like to meet with them, honestly, just to get their perspective, maybe do an interview with them. But they're pretty cool. They're professionals. They're like certified professionals, and they will give you all the facts you need. That's another great website to go to. Another great channel called Audioholics. Check them out. Uh, like I said, they're certified. They have all this knowledge to tell you what are the necessary steps for you to achieve what you want to achieve. And remember, when you're building a home theater, you want to make sure that you have to look at your space. Like, how big is your room? Where are you going to be building this home theater sound? Is it a living room? Is it an open living room? Is it a closed room? There's all of these. Look, either you're going to do it right or don't bother doing it at all. Like, you have to have a certain knowledge and perspective, and that's where these guys come in. Like I just mentioned, Westside Tech, Audioholic, John Crow. These guys, they know their stuff, and I learned from them. When I created this channel, I created this channel to really create a community, where I can learn, we all can learn. Look, I learn every day. Just like flying this plane, you got to learn what this does. What's the altitude here? What does the flap means? All of these things, all of these instruments, you have to learn what they do. You know what I mean? It's like anything else. So when I do calibrations, I just do it as an experiment. I'm experimenting with my own eye, and then I'm sharing it with you guys. Doesn't mean it's gonna work for you. Doesn't mean you're gonna like it. But I never said that I'm a professional. I mean, I even said it on my opening page. When you go to join my YouTube channel, it clearly says I'm not a professional. I clearly stated that I'm not a professional or certified, calibration guy, or certified home theater, or certified 4K Dolby Labs guy. I'm not. I'm just a regular Joe that is experimenting, but I created this YouTube channel as a community where we can all uh, enjoy our tech, share the same passion. It's a community, really. It's more like a community where we all share our passion. We learn from each other. You know. However, the one thing I don't tolerate, obviously, it's spamming and trolling, because that's wasting my time. That's wasting my subscribers' time, and it's wasting everybody's time. Just we're here to learn, man. We're here to learn about the tech. We're here to see what's the best possible option to go with something if you want to buy something, whether we're looking for speakers, home theater, televisions, what type of televisions. Look, man, there's a lot of great 4K televisions out there. Uh, Even LG UH7700 is not that bad. It does have Dolby Vision, does have HDR. It's still a good TV. The only thing that's missing a little bit is that white collar gamut. Now, is that really gonna matter to you that much? It depends, honestly. Guys, you have to remember all of these things we talk about, white collar gamut, peak brightness, all of that stuff, you will not notice that much, man. Okay? There's a lot of gimmicky that goes into that, all right? All of the regular Joes and regular Marys, they will not notice that much. And the peak brightness, it's only good if you're like in a big, huge room, like 3,000 square feet. Then you can say, okay, this is, something that I can enjoy with a peak brightness. But if you're in a small room, that peak brightness is not going to mean that much. You know what I mean? So, all right, I think this video went a little bit too long, so I'm going to end it right here. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and hopefully I don't crash here. All right, guys, thank you for watching.